The war grinds on. A Russian military column, a spearhead of modern tanks and BMPs, breaches the outskirts of a Ukrainian city. The assault has begun. High above, a Ukrainian Mavic drone maintains silent overwatch. On the ground, a small unit of soldiers prepares FPV drones, the new weapons of this modern warfare, to blunt the attack. Munitions are armed. A defiant message for the invaders is scrawled across the casing. The drone screams into the sky, a tool of asymmetric warfare. A direct hit. The lead Russian tank erupts in flame, the first casualty of the engagement. More FPV drones are launched by the Ukrainian troops, a swarm against steel. Another impact rattles a Russian tank, but its armor holds. It continues its advance. From hidden positions, more drone units join the battle, a coordinated defense. The primary target, the column's lead tank. It is heavily fortified with add-on armor and crude anti-drone cages, a hard target for any defense system. But the Ukrainian drones are relentless. Strike after strike hammers the tank. With each impact, its protective layers are peeled away. After multiple hits, the outcome is sealed. But the assault was far from over. The Russian column was closing on the positions held by the Ukrainian army. Ukrainian drone operators pressed their attack. And then, a perfect strike. An FPV drone finds a vulnerability, triggering a catastrophic detonation. Mere seconds later, a second tank is consumed by a sympathetic explosion, its turret hurled skyward. The last vehicle in the vanguard is crippled. The crew bails out, fleeing the wreckage. FPV drones are dispatched to finish the job on a surviving Russian BMP. A drone plunges through the open hatch, a final lethal blow. The BMP is neutralized. As a result, the Russian assault ended. A total failure. Ukrainian drones denied them any ground. In response, Russian commanders commit one of their newest BMP-3 infantry fighting vehicles to the global conflict. A Ukrainian Mavic drone streams real-time military news of the assault. The Russian vehicle clears a minefield, driving hard for the Ukrainian line. The intel is relayed to the soldiers on the ground. A Javelin missile streaks from its launcher. It strikes the top of the turret, inflicting massive damage. The crew scrambles from the burning vehicle and retreats. As the Ukrainian Mavic drone pushes in closer, the feed reveals a grim reality of war. One of the Russian crewmen is trapped inside the raging inferno. His fate is sealed. The battle continues. Russian forces send another BMP forward, its objective: a rapid breakthrough against the Ukrainian defense. A Mavic drone spots the movement, instantly transmitting coordinates to Allied artillery. A Polish-made crab howitzer fires. The shell lands close, but the Russian BMP keeps moving. An FPV drone was already en route. It closes on the BMP with precision, striking it and causing a massive secondary explosion of its onboard ammunition. Nearby, Russian soldiers are thrown from their feet by the shockwave. The fireball, a brutal military update, is visible for miles. A Russian self-propelled artillery piece had just completed its mission, shelling Ukrainian positions from a distance. The Russian soldiers attempted to relocate, but Ukrainian long-range FPV drones, a key defense technology, were already hunting. An operator locks the target. The drone dives, slamming into the Russian artillery. The impact is devastating. The crew quickly abandons their compromised weapon. But the damaged system won't get far. An intelligence drone tracks its retreat, guiding a second FPV drone onto the high-value target. A precise strike. A massive fire erupts from within the vehicle. The crew keeps driving, a desperate attempt to save their artillery system, but their luck runs out. Fire spreads, reaching the engine compartment. Ultimately, the system is abandoned, left to burn into a blackened wreck. And here, a Ukrainian intelligence drone spots two Russian air defense systems. The coordinates are immediately sent to a HIMARS battery. Two missiles are fired. The Russian air defense system detects the incoming threat and launches an interceptor missile. A duel of modern weapons begins. The Russian air defense successfully intercepts the first missile, but the second is already on its terminal approach, landing directly on the adjacent system. Later, the position of the surviving Tor air defense system was located. Ukrainian forces deployed a Switchblade drone to finish the hunt, and that was only the beginning. The first drone inflicts significant damage. As it hits, the second is already closing on its target. A precision strike from the Switchblade engulfs the Russian air defense in fire. The crew stands motionless, watching their defense systems burn to the ground. On another axis of the war, Russian forces deployed 2 BMPs for another assault. They breach the minefields, driving directly toward Ukrainian positions. A Ukrainian bomber drone flies over a Russian BMP, releasing its explosive payload, while the second BMP advances. The Russian soldiers descend into chaos, firing erratically. A Ukrainian drone capitalizes, dropping an explosive charge on the turret. 2 troops are wounded. Ukrainian FPV drones enter the engagement, tasked with finishing the abandoned BMPs. A drone strikes the rear, igniting a fire within. The flames intensify, consuming the vehicle. The Russian BMP is neutralized. Meanwhile, 2 wounded soldiers flee the drones. They seek refuge inside an abandoned BMP. But they were being watched. A Ukrainian Maverick drone had been observing their every move. The moment they were inside, an FPV drone was launched. The drone strikes the vehicle's thin armor. Fire erupts inside, burning the BMP down to its hull. Elsewhere, a Russian 2-7 artillery piece was shelling Ukrainian positions. After completing its fire mission, the crew evacuates the high-threat area. But a Ukrainian intelligence drone was already tracking their egress. The Russian soldiers concealed their system within the tree line. A drone operator transmits the coordinates to rocket forces. HIMARS opens fire. A direct hit from HIMARS ignites the ammunition. In a nearby sector, a similar system is located. HIMARS receives the new grid and fires a second missile. The missile strikes the target with precision, setting its ammunition ablaze. In a separate engagement, Russian forces commit their latest BMP to an assault. The BMP successfully navigates the minefields, reaching the outskirts of a Ukrainian town. But the tactical situation changes the moment FPV drones join the battle. A drone hits the engine, immobilizing the vehicle. The Russian soldiers dismount rapidly, seeking cover. A second drone was already closing in. The drone strikes the Russian BMP, triggering a massive detonation. The vehicle is torn to pieces, left a burning wreck. This is modern warfare. After hitting a mine, the APC was abandoned by its troops. An FPV drone was dispatched to eliminate the threat. The drone strikes the target, causing a colossal explosion. The Russian APC is completely obliterated. In another area of this global conflict, a Russian air defense system was active. Its radar detected a Ukrainian UAV drone. The crew fires a missile to intercept the drone. The missile screams past the Ukrainian aircraft. By firing, the Russian soldiers compromised their own position. A long-range FPV drone was sent to strike the high-value target. The drone impacts the Russian air defense unit, causing a catastrophic detonation of its ammunition. A Russian self-propelled mortar was spotted. This system can fire up to 8 shells a minute with deadly precision. This is a very dangerous weapon. An FPV drone is tasked to neutralize such a valuable asset. The first drone strikes, causing massive damage. The second drone moves in to deliver the final blow. The ammunition detonates, leaving nothing but a pile of burning metal. Here, a Russian artillery unit was operational. A 152mm howitzer was being used to shell Ukrainian positions. A Ukrainian intelligence drone pinpoints the Russian howitzer's location after it completes its mission. Russian soldiers camouflage their howitzer. Meanwhile, Ukrainian artillery gets the coordinates and opens fire. A shell lands directly on the Russian howitzer position. Nearby, an identical system was identified. A drone operator provides the coordinates to HIMARS. A missile is fired. The missile hits the target precisely. The ammunition begins to cook off, taking out another howitzer. This is a significant military update. In the same sector, a Russian radar was also located. Russian forces deployed this system to hunt for the HIMARS position. The crew, believing they were safe, activated the radar. A Ukrainian intelligence drone observed the entire area. The moment the radar became active, the coordinates were reported to the HIMARS operator. 2 missiles were fired. The second missile lands close, inflicting significant damage. The crew attempts to save their radar, but when fire reaches the engine, they abandon the vehicle, watching their defense technology burn to the ground. An eye in the sky. An intelligence drone paints a target. An active artillery system. Below, Russian soldiers fortify their position, preparing their weapons to strike. But Ukrainian drone operators are already moving, prepping a large FPV drone for a counterattack. Its mission? Neutralize the Russian artillery. The drone dives, a blur of motion. Impact. A precise strike ignites the stored ammunition, a testament to the lethality of modern warfare. The secondary explosion reveals a larger threat. A nearby ammunition depot, a critical supply point for the Russian army. Inside, stacks of 152mm shells. The coordinates are transmitted instantly to Ukrainian artillery command. A fire mission is ordered. The command is given. The first shell screams in, striking the depot dead center. The earth shakes with a catastrophic detonation. A second round follows. It plunges into the inferno, feeding the flames. The entire depot is now a raging fire, a critical loss in this ongoing war. Artillery shells begin to cook off. Suddenly, ATGM missiles ignite. Their guidance systems destroyed. They launch uncontrolled, streaking randomly across the battlefield. A chaotic display of failing defense systems.